Hello, welcome back, and today we're going to go over quick and easy painting tips for your Nemesis Intruders. That's for Nemesis Retaliation. I recently got my pledge and opened it. I have painted just about everything for that, and there'll be a painted review where I'm going to kind of review the game and show you all the rest of the painted stuff coming up real soon. Today what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how I painted my Intruders, and we're going to take a look at me painting my basic intruder. I did a real simple painting scheme. There's a lot of these compared to the other one. The other games had their intruders were scaled up, and there was a lot fewer of them than there are. Now we're painting mass hordes of little smaller shaped aliens. So for this one, I really did kind of want to have a plan, and I came up with a real simple paint scheme to kind of make it go by real fast and kind of get them painted and out there. The Nemesis aliens, if you notice, are sort of color-coded, and these kind of have that green color coding, so I decided to go with some green colors for this, completely kind of ignoring the art and just going for something I thought would look neat. I initially experimented with a few different colors before I came down to the Plague Bearers green, the Scorpion something Warriors green. I did a nice vibrant red for the eyes, just a couple of details, and some purple for the mouth area. And for all my Nemesis games across the board, all the bases are always gunmetal with some Nuln Oil as a wash. So for these Intruders, I rattle can primed all of them in Gray Sear Gray. That's the Games Workshop flavor of primer. And if you haven't primed much before, be sure to do that in a really low temperature, low humidity environment. I like to go out early in the morning when the weather's in like the 70s and it's not super humid outside. That is a great time to prime your stuff. If you go out when it's real humid, you could fuzz some of your stuff. And so for that reason, what I recommend is you kind of prime a few of them and take a real good look. Just kind of wait for it to dry. With that rattle can primer that I use, it dries in like minutes, or it kind of dries to the touch in minutes and maybe cures over a longer period. So because I had other stuff going on and there were so many of these aliens, I went ahead and I primed all of these and I let them sit for about 2 days, and then I started painting on them. I decided on a paint scheme for these. I kind of knew the colors I wanted. I took that lighter green, that Plague Bearers green, and I kind of painted from the chest down. I decided that these tentacles and the whole top were going to be that darker color, more vibrant green, and then everything else was going to be kind of that lighter color. So I just painted that lighter color all over the bottom. This is a great first layer because you're going to be digging in between all the arms and tentacles and legs and stuff. And if you get a little messy with this particular color, it's not a big deal. If you get it on the base, the metallic's going to cover it up real easy. And if you get it on the other side, well, it could be blending in to the other parts of its body. So long as you're not too egregious, you can kind of you can just paint all over the body and be a little bit sloppy. And that's really helpful because it kind of gets it going for this one. There's a lot of these to go through. I think there's 40 of these small Intruders to go through, so it really helps a lot. And I didn't notice it wasn't nearly as tedious as I graduated over to the larger ones. I don't think, are they breeders in this one? And the other ones, the secondary ones, are called breeders, but the slightly larger ones, they all ended up with almost the same paint scheme. I find that doing one whole color, just don't rush through it. Do one color, put it away, come back the next night, maybe do another color, or do half of them and then come back, do the other half the next night. If you just kind of break it into parts, it's not too bad. And I was able to paint all these Intruders in about 3 or 4 sessions, I think. This next color I didn't actually have the camera on, so I'm just going to be kind of holding up the miniature and showing it to you as we talk about it. All right, so the next layer is going to be kind of this upper carapace part of the head, the top part of the head, I believe, and all the way back to the little tentacles in the back. So I had some tentacles that were light green and some tentacles that were dark green. And so I just did the same. As long as you're consistent across all of them, it'll be fine. And you can actually experiment. I have 1 or 2 that are different colors than the others, but this one just ended up looking the best out of those colors that I had available. So after I got all that done, I went and kind of did some spot red on the eyes. At first I thought there were 3 eyes, and I was like, well, maybe those are nostrils, but there's some little tiny little divots here on the side, and so I just put a little bit of spot of red in each of those to kind of make them look spooky. I tried not to be too critical on this one. I just went through and hit them the best I could. There's a lot of little eyes, so not some of them are like real surprised, and some of them are angry, you know. So we got a lot of expressions here. It looked like just about every alien was just kind of going, ah! Anyway, so. Oh, speaking of which, I went through with that purple and I just did the mouth. So I just did the whole mouth. I didn't try to color their teeth or anything. I didn't try to do anything. In fact, when I was painting, I just kind of loosely tried to, miss the mouth because they're all kind of open, like they're screaming or ready to bite. But I just kind of hit all of those with a purple, and it kind of brought in some of the accents of the tongue and like the little lines that are in there. I think it looks pretty good. Then the last thing I do is that gunmetal on the base. There are lots of pipes and other things. You could decorate that, maybe hit that with copper and stuff if you feel like taking another layer. I didn't really feel like it. I just hit it all with the metal, then I hit it all with a wash. Try to be as careful as you can of this. You'll be little feet and stuff. Remember, if you hit the feed or you mess up at some point and you want to clean it up, you can paint it back with some white paint or a paint that's really close to whatever primer you used, and then just go and repaint it with that other color again. But kind of paint it back white, let it dry a little bit, give it a few minutes to dry, and then you can hit it with that other color, and it'll be like good as new. I always have to remind myself when I'm doing the basing part to, like when I'm painting the base, to try to just take it slow, and it'll save me from a lot of touch up later on. It's real easy to screw up and just paint the whole side of your alien metal. I don't know if I've messed up quite that bad. That's pretty bad. With the Null-and-Oil, you don't have to be nearly as careful. You can kind of dig in there and get it all over those feet and stuff. It'll just look like they're dirty. You don't want to do it all over the model. It kind of gives it a dirty look and takes away from the advantages you get with the contrast paint. But it is kind of nice on the other side of things. I like to paint the underbelly of things sometimes with it to make it a little bit darker and kind of fake a little bit of the shading underneath. And folks, that's all I got for you today. I hope that helps you get through those aliens. There's a lot of them. Thinking about it in the layers and the stuff where to try to minimize how much you have to go back and touch it up when you mess up will help you the most. So that's why I started with that inner layer with a real light color, and a slightly darker color on the top, and then kind of worked my way out from there. Folks, that's all I got for you today. I'll be back real soon with a painted review where we show all the rest of these models and give it a big review. I'll probably get Owen in there for that one. But that'll be coming up real soon. Until next time, enjoy your games, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.